Hi, Wolfpack fans. Welcome to our new segment, Tiny Wins. Today, Allison File is our special guest. Allison is a PhD student in mechanical engineering. Welcome, Allison.
Oh, thanks so much. Happy to be here.
So happy to have you. Would love to have you tell our listener a little bit about yourself and how you got to NC State.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm from Denver, North Carolina, not Colorado. And I went to UNC Charlotte for undergrad. And there I was able to work on a project focused on ocean renewable energy. And I fell in love. And I'm like, I have to do this for grad school. So when I applied to programs, I looked at different ones working on projects related. And NC State had a really cool group that was working on wave energy converters and had the Coastal Studies Institute right here. So it was all like pretty perfect. So that's how I ended up here.
Wonderful. Well, you're kind of a local in the state, but coming to a new city, how's the adjustment been to Raleigh?
Definitely still been an adjustment, like new people and new places and everything, but it's been pretty easy. Everyone's been really great here, and it's honestly been pretty quick finding a community.
Oh, fantastic. It's so nice to have a community and feel like you belong and are connected. And we started this segment, Allison, because we wanted to just focus on positive things that happen that may not be earth shattering, like getting your PhD, but really changes your life in a way that is giving you momentum. And so when we think about that, the idea of a challenge in grad school that maybe looked invisible to other people but felt really heavy to you, what comes to mind?
I would say, just starting off, my group is pretty big. There's like 7 of us, but everyone there except for me has been there for 4 or 5 years. So starting off, like the first week they brought me into our research project. So I was going to research meetings once a week, going to like our bigger lab group meeting, and kind of right away it seemed like everyone else knew a lot more than I did, especially with the research project and everything. I was trying to like contribute and start making progress, but I was like so far, the learning gap was so big compared to where everyone else was. So for me, that definitely felt like a little bit of imposter syndrome there, and kind of like feeling like, I don't know, I had a long way to go, but I just had to step back and be like, okay, this is part of the process. I'm not expected to be where everyone else is at the same moment, a couple weeks into grad school. Had to
Yeah,
like step back and evaluate that.
it seems like a lot of pressure when everyone else is at a different stage and they're further along than you are, and you're trying not to compare yourself, but it's so hard not to. How do you go about reminding yourself of that confidence and not getting intimidated?
Yeah, I think it's really just being intentional, making like taking points to like step back and like really think about things and remind yourself like, oh, you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now, and making more so small steps every single day, realizing I don't have to have it all figured out right now. Right now I can simply attempt to read this paper, maybe read a paragraph and learn something new, and just make small steps like that. And also talking to first years, being part of the cohort has been really helpful, and just talking to new people that are also have like the exact same experience I do, realizing I'm not alone in this.
We love having you in the smooth sailing cohort, and it is nice, like you said, feeling a part of a group and kind of just getting your blinders off when you're in one department and talking to people in other parts of the college. What's been most meaningful for you so far as part of smooth sailing?
I think the most impactful day for me was learning about like imposter syndrome and perfectionism, because that just like hit so hard for me, because that's something I've felt for a long time now. So just seeing like going around and everyone, pretty much our entire cohort resonated with that in some way or another, and just seeing how everyone's pretty much like was in the same boat was really nice to see, and we're all going through this together. And just the community in general, I've met so many cool people, and expanded my like group a lot, and it's been really great to like meet people too.
That's one of the goals, and it's near and dear to my heart to hear that it is actually landing, and that you feel like you belong, and that you're not alone. And I think getting back to what you took away from the whole imposter focus and being really hard on yourself, what would be kind of more in depth about how you learn something new about yourself through hearing other people talk about it?
I think in general I learned like I'm more resilient than I think I am. Like I think like I'm kind of like panic in a second. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. And I'm like, you really can. Like the longer I went through it, I just finished a full proposal that I wrote for my group and never thought I'd be able to do that. A lot of this research, like it seemed so daunting at the beginning, and, here we are, second semester, and things have been going well. And, the longer you do it, you realize like you are resilient, you can handle it. And a lot of it's been just me like making a point to reach out for help. And my group's been fantastic. My advisor's been good. And I've learned that like I'm not alone and I have a lot of resources. And I've started to learn like, how to go about accessing them and finding that help, which has been like really instrumental along the way.
Ooh, I'm glad you hit on asking for help, because sometimes people feel like they have to figure it all out by themselves, and that's a sign of weakness. I'm the same way though. I'll ask for help. Like if I'm just in a hardware store, I'm not just going to wander around for 20 minutes and be like, I can't find this one hinge. I'll be like, where is the hinge? How do you go about using your resources here at NC State? Because it is a big, intimidating place.
Yeah, absolutely. There's such a big university. There's really so many different ways that you can get help, and I still haven't found all of them myself yet. But yeah, I think the more I like ask people like what's available and making a point to check my emails regularly and like see the different links that pop up. I mean, there's so many different helpful sources, and I've made a point to like reach out to my professors and start to get to know them. And everyone has such like a wide wealth of knowledge, and I'm starting to like the more you talk to people, you start to find out these things. Yeah, but especially my lab mates have been really great for that, since like navigating the process of the PhD. They've kind of been helpful like every step of the way that seems like super confusing to me. I can ask them. They already have, like so many different resources, even for looking at classes to take. They already had a whole spreadsheet of like different classes like they recommended, like the ratings and like how difficult it was and all the things you would need to know. Like they already had that ready and was super helpful for me.
That's wonderful. Just your peers, what a great resource to do, and also your faculty members. When you do have those one-on-one conversations with your faculty members, which, they can be in a position of power and you're kind of a little bit at the beginning point, as we just mentioned, what is it that you use tools-wise just to initiate conversations? I mean, you've been good with that with me too, even let's set up a coffee and talk. And so many other people don't do that because I think they think they're too busy to do it. But what would you say to that person that's listening thinking, oh, I don't want to start a conversation, it's going to be awkward?
Yeah, I think a lot of times like people are too shy to ask, but a lot of times like faculty, like they're just so excited to work with students and so excited to share these opportunities. They're here and they want people to use them. So I'd say don't be shy, go and talk to people, like have a conversation. They're not going to bite. Yeah, a lot of times like I was the same way. And then I learned I really just have to start talking to people, and I learned and like so many things from that, and so many good things came out of it. So yeah, just initiating that conversation, just saying hi and taking it from there.
Just take the dive in.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's so easy to just not do that and to think like, oh, that's just going to take more effort. But then when you look back on it, you're so grateful that you did it. So
Yeah, definitely.
it's important for them to hear it. All right. So what surprised you? Now you're in your second semester of your PhD here at NC State University. Did you have expectations, and what kind of didn't go as you had planned?
That's a tricky one. um, yeah, I think really just like the schedule is a little different than I thought. A lot of PhD is like, you have like certain like award you get or certain grant, and there's certain tasks, but a lot of it is really up to you to kind of like plan out, and a lot of making your own schedule really for like what I'm going to do like day to day and planning it out. Before that, I feel like in everything else, there's been like very step by step for what I have to do. And now it's kind of more on me to figure out like how am I going to get from A to B.
That's a good one. I mean, just managing your time. What would be your secrets to success for that, for someone that's still maybe in that struggle bus?
Yeah, I think like looking at it, like what I actually have to accomplish, and then taking a minute just to like divide it out. Like, okay, here's like actionable steps that I could like actually like bite off in like a day or like a week or something. And then also I love Google Calendar. I use it for everything. So I think also like it's been really helpful for me just to like block off times in Google Calendar. Like, okay, I'm gonna work for X to X time, and I can focus on one of those like smaller bits of the task during that.
Do you color code?
I do.
Yes.
I love color code.
Oh my goodness, girl after my own heart. No, from my standpoint, it's like if it's not on the Google Calendar, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
So, as we wind up our conversation, Allison, I would love to hear you say, for anyone listening right now, what they might be in a similar place to you, what is one honest thing that you wish someone had told you at the beginning?
I would say give yourself some grace. It's definitely not an easy thing. And it can be a lot of fun too, but just don't let it get in your head. And it can be very stressful or it can be a good experience. But the main thing is realizing that you're going to grow along the way, you're going to struggle. It's all part of the process. So just try to take a breath and relax and realize all these things, but try to have a little bit of fun along with it too.
Ooh, wise words, kind of that self compassion. We can be so hard on ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for sharing today, Allison. It's great to see
Yeah,
you.
thank you so much for having me.